or have another print disability which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Around Our Area continues now on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Your reader for this hour is Sally Herzog. And we go to our first paper, the Southtowns Bee, and this is the West Seneca, Orchard Park, and East Aurora newspapers. It's the Thursday, April 23rd, 2026 edition. And we go to our first article, West Seneca Board of Ed, 5 names, 3 seats. This is by Eric Kepler. The West Seneca Central School District will have a contested race for Board of Education seats this year, as 5 candidates filed the necessary paperwork by 5 p.m. Monday to vie for 3 available seats. The West Seneca Board of Education consists of 7 members who are elected to 3-year terms. Current BOE members with expiring terms on June 30th, 2026 include Lorene Barnlick, Laura Sokol-Scott, and Sarah Faworzik, and all 3 filed to run again. They are joined in the field by Brian Crosby and Kenneth Thompson. The BOE members will be selected as part of the district budget vote on May 19th. Officials have not yet decided if they will host a Meet the Candidate event prior to the election. Write-in votes are always possible, but probably not likely to produce enough support to defeat established candidates. In the Orchard Park School District, there are 3 seats coming open for 3-year terms. They will be filled by Aaron Andel, incumbent Edward Draves, and Tijuana Klaas. Stephen Kamar and BOE President Dr. Jennifer Roger will not seek re-election. In the East Aurora School District, there are also 3 seats coming open for 3-year terms. They will be filled by retired East Aurora teacher Joanne Ryan and incumbents D. Paul Blowers and Daniel Brunson. Judith Malice will not seek re-election. In the Iroquois School District, there are 2 seats coming open for 5-year terms. They will be filled by newcomers David Lowry and Caitlin Leticia. Robert Berry and Heather Jacobs did not seek re-election. Fire officials address dwindling numbers. This is by Eric Kepler. There are more calls for help than ever before, and fewer volunteer firemen to answer them. That's going to result in closures and dangerous lapses in the aid during emergency situations, fire officials warned last week. The volunteer fire service is the backbone of emergency response in New York State, said Paul Melfi, New York State Association of Fire Chiefs. We no longer guarantee that a fire truck or ambulance will arrive as quickly as the public expects or deserves when someone in our community dials 911. Fire commissioners, chiefs, and firefighters from across New York State gathered at the Orchard Park Fire District last Thursday to support legislation aiming at stopping the decline of volunteers in the fire system. Volunteer ranks have dropped by 40%, officials said, creating dangerous staffing shortages across fire departments statewide. As a result, most firehouses are operating below safe levels, and a few have even closed. And the firefighters who remain are facing extreme burnout and heightened risk to their health and safety. The numbers don't lie, said Robert Pattison, Fire Assistant Chief at East Seneca, or First Assistant Chief at East Seneca Fire Company. Calls for service are up. Training hour requirements continue to rise, leaving our people spending more time trying to answer hundreds more calls than ever before, with fewer volunteers to do it. To combat the dwindling numbers, the proposed legislation would allow fire districts to provide nominal stipends of not more than $12,000 to volunteer firefighters. Current law prevents departments from reimbursing volunteers for their time and training, and the numbers reflect that. The stipend is something to show me that my time from work and my family is actually worth something, Patterson said. That is something more than just the helping of one's neighbor or town resident. Volunteer firefighters typically work full-time jobs, in addition to being on call 24/7. But the weak economy and surging inflation are forcing potential volunteers to instead take on a second job that actually pays. Out of our village station here in Orchard Park, we now do 2,500 calls a year. So, now you're answering 5 times more of the calls with less of the people, said Chris Cowell, Erie County Deputy Commissioner of Fire Safety. Volunteer firefighter ranks in New York State have fallen to a 40-year low, plunging from roughly 120,000 to 80,000 over the past 2 decades. In 2024, Governor Kathy Hochul launched New York's first training stipend program for volunteer firefighters, providing stipend ranging from $500 to $1,250 for advanced training to new recruits. Officials acknowledge that's a step in the right direction, but much more is needed. The fire service is in desperate need of volunteers, said John Gullo, Fire Commissioner, Safety Officer for Vigilant Fire Company. The state has put on a copious amount of requirements, making it very difficult to recruit anyone. I know local departments are working on a huge effort in recruiting. Vigilant has been continuously working on recruitment, but to no avail. We need more people to volunteer. The situation is not yet dire, but it is coming close. Building a Living History. This is by Eric Kepler. For the men and women who have served in the United States Armed Forces, their sacrifices and service are often forgotten if they're lucky enough to return home. Hundreds of thousands never made it back home to resume their lives, and except for the names on gravestones, only their friends and family know they served. Jim Manley is hoping to change that. Manley, the chairman of the West Seneca Joint Veterans Committee, is gathering as much information as he can to compile the military service of area residents into a database for public viewing. I want those who served in the military during the Korean War era and the Vietnam War era remembered for their service to their country and hometown within Erie County, Manley said. I have gathered as much information as I could to highlight their dedication and bravery during combat action. Then, after they came home, our veterans continued in the service of our nation, state, and county as scientists, doctors, engineers, business owners, first responders, production workers, politicians, and countless other positions. Their impact on our economy and way of life has been enormous. When Manley worked in the West Seneca Town Clerk's office managing town's records, he came across postcards from town historian Frank J. Lankes, who has created a war service record containing the name, address, and branch of service of each individual entering military service from West Seneca. Lankes ultimately never compiled his records, but Manley took them and started to put together individual records on area soldiers and sailors. He then added whatever information he could find from a variety of sources, including newspapers, government websites, books, questionnaires, high school yearbooks, interviews, historical societies, and obituary notices. Manley said the database provides a means to research local individuals who served, not just a name. I wanted to give a young person the opportunity to research a family member who served but knew little about their service, he said. Currently, the database has records on more than 650 Korean area veterans and more than 2,075 Vietnam era veterans. According to a 2023 survey, approximately 5,599 Vietnam veterans with wartime service were still alive in Erie County. Besides the veteran's full name, some entries contain information such as hometown, street address, branch of service, rank, the unit, squadron, ship they were attached, job description, medals, information on base assignments, information about their civilian life, and finally, if they passed and when. I put whatever information that I could find on a veteran from each era and create a record for each one. Some are extensive, while others, unfortunately, are very brief, Manley said. The hope is that veterans or family members will be able to add information to the database to explain more about the individual's service to our country. To view the Korean War Era database, go to www.vets.org/Korea HTML. To view the Vietnam War Era database, go to www.vets.org/Vietnam HTML. Each database is set up alphabetically. However, there are additional Vietnam listings for West Seneca and Erie County. There is a listing for residents who were killed in action from only West Seneca, and a listing for all those who were killed in action from Erie County, including West Seneca. There are also additional listings for all residents who served countywide in the Vietnam War era, and those just from West Seneca who served in the Vietnam War era. Listings are also available for those who were deployed to Vietnam from West Seneca, and a listing for those who were deployed in Vietnam from Erie County, including West Seneca. The same breakdown categories are also available for our Korean War and Korean War era veterans. There is also a single database for only West Seneca residents who served in World War II, and that would be www.wsvets.org World War and the number 2 HTML. I look to have families interested enough to update the information on their loved one's military service, Manley said. I look at it as a living document, always growing, always updating. I want people to use this information to learn what their relatives or any interested party did in the military, not just have a name or information on the whole individual. I welcome any and all information by email at wsvets@gmail.com. Teen of the Week, sponsored by Erie One Bosse's Harlem Road in West Seneca. This week's Teen of the Week is Benjamin Cierzo, a senior at Orchard Park High School. Ben has been described as an outstanding young man who is his academic success, artistic accomplishments, leadership, and service to others make him exceptionally deserving. Ben is an honor roll student, receiving numerous academic accolades such as the Regents English II Award and the Scholastic Achievement Award. Attributable to his academic excellence, he was inducted into the National Honor Society and received the Bonney Scholarship from St. Bonaventure University. Throughout high school, Ben has been involved in multiple extracurricular activities, volunteering opportunities, and sports, playing lacrosse, All 4 years, he made the varsity team in his junior year. Due to his perseverance and commitment to the team, Ben received the Hard Work and Dedication Award. He was also a member of the ski club, where he worked as the social media manager. Ben spent 2 years as a member of the Masterminds Quiz Bowl program, a competitive academic league for high school in upstate New York, quickly becoming captain of the team. Heavily involved in the music program, Ben has been a member of nearly every group the school has, earning prestigious musical distinctions. Currently, he is serving as the president of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. In his role, Ben has supported younger musicians through monitoring coordinated events that promote music within the community and organized and led service projects. His ability to motivate others while maintaining a thoughtful and professional demeanor has made a lasting impact on our programs, said Scott Bean, director of bands at Orchard Park High School. Ben is a drum major for the Quaker Marching Band, the most visible and demanding position in the department. He is responsible for leading rehearsals, conducting performance, and setting the tone for the ensemble. He plays tenor saxophone in the wind ensemble, was a member of the music pit, and is a member of the Chattanooga Jazz Band. Due to his determination and hard work, he received the Best Woodwind and Best Player in Pitt in 2025 award. Additionally, he was a member of the Caroliers, participated in the orchestra, and served as president of the Orchard Park Band. With everything on his plate, he still finds time to give back through volunteer work with the Special Olympics and Heart Animal Rescue, demonstrating responsibility and leadership through his employment at Kissing Bridge and Rosie's Ice Cream. After graduation, Bland plans to attend Rensselaer Polytech Institute to major in mechanical engineering with the minor in music. His goal is to work with roller coasters and other rides, or to work on planes and spacecraft. Because of his love for music, he also wants to continue playing the saxophone wherever he can. B Newspapers, in conjunction with sponsors, will showcase exceptional seniors in 9 of our communities as Teen of the Week. The highlighted student will be conscientious, hardworking, and self-motivated individuals who continue to better their communities. Those students exceed expectations and are enthusiastic learners. One student will be awarded a scholarship at the end of the 2025-26 school year. Spindle items. This is by Eric Kepler. Congrats! Orchard Park music instructor Brad Carson and Melissa Smith are recipients of this year's BPO ECMEA Awards of Excellence in Music Education. The awards will be presented at 6 p.m. Saturday, May 9th, prior to the evening's BPO concert, Hayden Cello Concerto. The award is presented annually to music educators who help to nurture students in the art of music. Do you sing? The Southtowns and Capella Group for vocalists is looking for people who are skilled and experienced singing choral music. The group will meet monthly to sing pieces with sheet music and recorded voice parts provided in the hopes of eventually performing locally. Music will continue everything from early Renaissance to contemporary selections. There is no cost, and both qualified Amateurs and professionals are welcome. For more information, contact Dan's Cathay, and that's DANSCOTTHAY @gmail.com. The Seneca Mall. The next phase of the project at the old Seneca Mall site has begun, West Seneca Supervisor Gary Dixon said in a Facebook post. Trucks are beginning to pile up what will ultimately be over 60,000 cubic yards of dirt to compact or surcharge the site where the main store will be. The dirt that is being brought in right now is being stockpiled. The actual surcharging will start shortly, Dixon said. Construction season. The Erie County Department of Public Works Highway Division is preparing for a robust schedule of road and bridge work planned for 2026, involving more than $50 million in investments for projects spanning the county. Local projects include a mill and overlay project in the Aurora District, Center from Crump to Howland Greenwood or Glenwood, 1.14 miles, $4.7 million for the reconstruction of 2 miles of McKinley Parkway from Quimby Road to Southwestern Boulevard. $7.5 million is earmarked for Phase 3 of the Borden Road reconstruction project, covering 1.13 miles from French Road to Seneca Creek, and a cold cycle treatment in East Aurora District, Warner Hill from Route 16 to Vermont Hill, 2.6 or 06 miles, Courier's Sardinia from Route 16 to Miller, 1.13 miles, and Phillips from Partridge to Holland Glenwood, 1.5 miles. Feedmore Plant Sale. The Feedmore Western New York Foundation Popular Plant Sale was back in time for Mother's Day and spring planting. The sale was held April 24th, and participants had the option to purchase hanging baskets, potted plants, and annual flats. For questions or additional information, contact Feedmore Western New York Special Events Specialist Jenna Curran at 716-822-2005, extension 3082. A meaningful milestone on a bigger journey. A growing mission rooted in compassion is expanding its reach, opening their thrift store location, the first in Niagara County. Hearts for the Homeless serves Buffalo and the surrounding areas, providing food, resources, and hope to those less fortunate and homeless. Hearts for the Homeless is a faith-based organization founded in 1990 that serves the chronic homeless population in Western New York. At the Hearts campus, they work to help create better living environments and strengthen community connections. Now supported by hundreds of volunteers, they have opened 3 thrift stores locations, numerous food pantries, and placed dozens of donation bins spread throughout the city. President and CEO Nicholas Calandra recently cut the ribbon at the newest Hearts thrift store located at 1595 Military Road in Niagara Falls, New York. This new location is their biggest store thus far, with 10,000 square feet of items ready to be thrifted. The stores exist primarily to help fund the outreach programs and connect people with the mission. The stores are made possible by people's generous donations, and our team works hard to try to select the items that will honor the donations in the best way possible, said Calandra. In addition to its thrift stores, Hearts for the Homeless relies on financial supporters who play a key role in the organization's long-term stability and sustainability. Through both financial donations from community members and foundations, different grants, and clothing donation bins, what began as a single soup kitchen has since grown into a handful of programs addressing food insecurity. Feed More Mobile Food Pantry offers everything from non-perishable items to toiletries to fresh fruits. This program happens rain or shine 10 months out of the year. Heart's Food Pantry Express, a mobile solution working in collaboration with Feed More Western New York. They've identified areas where food resources are scarce or inaccessible due to a lack of transportation or the absence of local food pantries. Heart's Harvest Food Pantry offers a dignified program utilizing a client choice distribution method for individuals and families. Homeless shelter partnerships. Hearts has formed partnerships with local homeless shelters such as Restoration Society Incorporated and Code Blue, serving over 37,000 hot meals to the homeless community on frigid nights. Mobile Soup Kitchen. Teams of dedicated volunteers serve hot meals, sandwiches, drinks, and desserts to members of the community outside the downtown library and Leroy R. Coles Jr. Library. Additionally, the mobile soup kitchen carries essential clothing items. Post-pandemic, we have seen a substantial increase in need, and so we really are working to kind of focus deeply on the sustainability component of the Hearts for the Homeless for the long term, said Calandra. Food items can be donated at the Hearts Redemption Center in Riverside, and there is also an Amazon wish list located on their website. Bright red clothing donation bins are conveniently placed across Western New York and are a cost-effective way to raise funds and provide residential service to those in need. It's exciting to celebrate 35 years of ministry, but as we look to the next 35 years, we really want to make sure we're setting up for the long term, and thrifting is a good way to do that, said Calandra. For more information, visit https://heartsforthehomeless.org. If you are someone you know requires immediate assistance with food or clothing, call 211 for information about health and human services. West Seneca West is Wonder Award finalist again. Perennial contender West Seneca West has been named as a finalist for this year's Shays Wonder Awards for its rendition of Something Rotten. West is part of the High School Musical Theater Awards program that will feature more than 1,600 students from 25 schools from across Western New York. Shays Wonder Awards winners will be announced during a ceremony at Shays Buffalo Theater at 7 p.m. on Saturday, May 16th. Throughout the school year, 36 educators attended local high school musicals, providing feedback and scoring each high school production in various categories. Shays Wonder Awards are provided in categories related to outstanding performance, vocals, dance, music, lighting, set costume, hair and makeup direction, choreography, and more. Also, Shays announced 16 individual semifinalists for the Student Talent and Growth Experience stage program. The two student winners at Shays stage program will go on to compete in the Jimmy Awards, the National High School Theater Award program, on June 22nd in New York City. Last year, West Seneca West High School earned the top prize at the Wonder Awards. Their production of Les Miserables School Edition won 6 categories, including the Outstanding Production of a Musical, a distinction that comes with a $5,000 grant to support the school's growing performing arts program. In addition, West student Jonah Higgins was selected to go to New York City last year as a junior to represent the region at the Jimmy Awards. Other finalists included Alden's Hello Dolly, Bishop Timon St. Jude, Mount Mercy Academy, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Sacred Hearts Nonsense, Canisius Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Cheektowaga's SpongeBob Musical, Cleveland Hills Disney's Frozen, Fillmore's Hadestown Teen Edition, Gawanda's Disney High School Musical, Jamestown, The Pirates of Pennant, Letchworth, The Sound of Music, Lockport, The Big Fish, School Edition, Maple Grove, Haddletown, Teen Edition, Mount St. Mary, Anything Goes, Narden, Footloose, The Musical, North Collins, Rogers and Hammerstein's Oklahoma, North Tonawanda, Freaky Friday, Pioneer, Guys and Dolls, Randolph, Disney Newsies, Southwestern, Once Upon a Mattress, St. Francis, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, St. Joe's, Into the Woods, St. Mary's, Chicago Teen Edition, Starpoint, Disney Frozen, and Williamsville East, Into the Woods. Tickets are $12 in advance or $15 at the door, available through the Shays box office at 650 Main Street or online at https://www.shays.org/performance Shays Wonder Awards. And before we move to our next paper, we'd like to tell you you're listening to Around Our Area on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And we move on to the Sun, and this is the Friday, April 24th, 2026 edition. Our first article, Town introduces resolution to enact one-year moratorium on battery energy storage systems, Tier 2 and Tier 3 solar projects. This is by Chris Graham. The town of Hamburg has, as of April 13th, introduced a resolution to enact a one-year moratorium on battery energy storage systems and Tier 2 and Tier 3 solar projects in the municipality. The decision to place the moratorium on these types of projects stems from a desire for the town to update its codes due to the ever-changing landscape of renewable energy in the state. The town has had a solar law on the books since 2020, while the battery energy storage system law dates back to 2021. As we know, in New York State, renewable energy moves faster than the speed of light, so we want to modernize the codes, said Josh Rogers, a planning consultant for Wendell. We want to make sure, when we're reviewing future projects, that they're under a more modernized code than what we currently have. Rogers added that the town has heard rumblings from residents opposing and raising concerns about battery energy systems and certain types of solar projects, and wants to be proactive in examining where those codes stand. We wanted to start to look at our code instead of waiting for 4 to 5 applications to come before us, and then we try to change the code, Rogers said. As it stands, for the town, there are currently no battery energy storage systems that are in the planning pipeline. Recently, RIC Energy, a global company specializing in renewable energy development, presented a plan to the Hamburg Town Board to construct 2 co-located 5-megawatt battery storage projects for a parcel at 6433 Railroad Avenue in Lakeview. This meeting was purely informational, and the company did not submit an application for the project, prior to the introduction of the resolution. No battery energy storage systems exist in the town currently. There is one in the village of Blaisdell. The story with Tier 2 and Tier 3 solar projects is a little different. EDF Power Solutions North America, a clean energy company, is proposing a 9.25-acre community solar project on farmland on Pleasant Avenue. This is a Tier 3 solar project. This project, which has staunched neighborhood opposition, was first reviewed by the Town of Hamburg Planning Board on March 18th. Since an application was filed for the project prior to the resolution being introduced, there will be no impact on EDF Power Solutions North America's proposed plan. The town currently has 2 Tier 2 solar projects, one approved for Southwestern Boulevard and another for Taylor Road. The moratorium does not impact Tier 1 solar project, which include the placement of rooftop solar panels. Rogers said the Planning Department, Engineering Department, Code Enforcement, Code Review Committee, and the Town Board will offer comments on the current codes and work to modernize them. The resolution is now subject to a public hearing. The hearing will occur at the Town Board meeting on Wednesday, May 4th. It's expected a vote to enact the moratorium could happen at that meeting. The one-year moratorium, once it's enacted, would include a provision that the Town Board can vote to extend the moratorium for another 6 months after it ends, if they so choose. Hamburg Town Board approves Blaisdell Volunteer Fire Department and Big Tree Volunteer Fire Department merger. This is by Chris Gordon. A resolution to merge the Blaisdell Volunteer Fire Department with the Big Tree Volunteer Fire Department to provide fire and ambulance services to Village of Blaisdell residents was approved by the Hamburg Town Board on April 13th. Town Supervisor Elizabeth Farrell Lorenz, who along with other board members voted in favor, said it was impossible for the village to maintain its independent fire department. Big Tree has handled fire-related calls in the village since 2023. The village has tried to find ways to increase enrollment to the Blaisdell Volunteer Fire Department, but those efforts have been unsuccessful. During its April 6th meeting, following a public hearing, the Blaisdell Village Board approved a resolution seeking another year deal with Big Tree to provide fire and ambulance services while they begin working toward a dissolution of the Blaisdell Volunteer Fire Department and a move to a permanent merger with the Big Tree. The Blaisdell Village Board then approved a resolution asking State Senator Patrick Gallivan and Assemblyman John Rivera to co-sponsor legislation that would allow Governor Kathy Hochul to review and approve the merger of the 2 fire departments. Village Attorney James Shaw said during that meeting it was important to get this done now so that the 2 legislators could try and get the bill passed before the current session ends in early June. Village of Blaisdell Mayor Rob Hefner met with the Hamburg Town Board in an executive session prior to the regular meeting to outline the village's request. Hefner has stated during past meetings that declining enrollment has led to his decision. Town of Hamburg Councilman Daniel Kozub was complimentary of village officials, making sure its residents remain safe. I give the Village Board of Trustees a lot of credit, Kozub said. Vote expected on zoning change for gas station restaurant development at Big Tree Road and Southwestern Boulevard next week. This is by Chris Graham. A decision on a zoning change and State Environmental Quality Review Act declaration for a proposed gas station, convenience store, and restaurant development at Victory Road and Southwestern Boulevard was tabled by the Hamburg Town Board on April 13th, as some board members were looking for further protection surrounding the project. The project from Bryant Development, LLC, has been discussed at the Town of Hamburg Planning Board since December. The development would include a Circle K gas station, a convenience store, a Dunkin' Donuts, a Jimmy John's, a Buffalo Wild Wings, and one yet to be named restaurant on the 4.14-acre parcel. Two of the restaurants would have a drive-through, with each having 10 stacking spaces. The development would also include 43 parking spaces, along with 14 spots for vehicles to fuel up with gas. The gas station would be as far away as possible from the nearest residential area, which is Burke Parkway. In March, the project came before the town board for public hearing regarding a zoning change from C1 Local Retail Business District to C2 General Commercial District, and a negative SEQRA declaration saying the site will offer no adverse impacts on the environment. At the hearing, the board heard from a few residents, mainly stressing traffic concerns, that there will be increased traffic due to the developing's proximity to new Highmark Stadium. In regard to the protections, Councilman Daniel Kozub asked that the developer could have a bond on the property where, if they left, there was a foreclosure or bankruptcy, someone would be responsible for removing the tanks from the ground. Josh Rogers, a planning consultant for Wendell, said at the site plan stage, the planning board has the power to require a performance bond to address those matters. Town Supervisor Elizabeth Farrell Lorenz added she also wanted a plan for the cleanup of the gas station site, should something occur. The supervisor also brought up the potential curb cut for the project onto Southwestern Boulevard. The developer has been in talks with the New York State Department of Transportation, with DOT being receptive to the curb cut request, according to Sean Hopkins, an attorney for the developer. This is in stark contrast to what is usually the case for projects on Southwestern Boulevard. Planning Board member William Clark previously said the Planning Board has reviewed around a dozen projects recently looking to receive access onto Southwestern Boulevard, with none of those receiving a curb cut, a point that Farrell Lorenz echoed. The supervisor said she would like further investigation of the traffic in the area and a stronger commitment from DOT about the curb cut. Rogers stressed that DOT doesn't typically give a hardline yes or no on a curb cut. Both Rogers and James Tallarico, Senior Vice President of Restaurant and Retail Development for Bria Development, have said previously that the DOT being open to a curb cut and not immediately saying no is more progress than most projects see. Tallarico also said previously if the curb cut is not granted, the development will not be built. The comments brought up by Kozub and Farrell Lorenz were going to be looked at by Rogers and worked out before the next meeting. It is expected that the zoning change and SEQRA declaration will be up for a vote at the town board's meeting on Monday, April 26th. If the development receives town board approval, the applicant will return to the planning board for site plan approval and a special use permit for the fueling facility. Sellers Insurance relocates offices to the suites at 60 Main. Sellers Insurance has relocated its offices to the suites at 60 Main in the Village of Hamburg, Central Business District, marking a milestone for the firm as it continues to serve clients across the region. Sellers Insurance is a multi-generational family business that has enjoyed over 100 years of success and service to a wide array of clients. The new location at 60 Main Street provides a professional office environment designed to support collaboration, accessibility, and day-to-day operations. The move reflects Sellers Insurance commitment to responsive service and high-quality client experience. We are pleased to welcome Sellers Insurance to our tenant community at the Suites at 60 Main, said Jeffrey Russo, managing partner at Boston State Holding Company, LLC. As they settle into their new offices, we look forward to supporting their continued success. The Suites at 60 Main is home to a mix of professional services and growing businesses. The property offers a centralized location as an office setting designed to meet the needs of today's commercial tenants. Village of Angola adopts nearly $3 million budget for 2026-27 fiscal year. This is by Chris Gordon. Following a public hearing in which no one spoke, a nearly $3 million budget for the 2026-27 fiscal year was approved by the Angola Village Board during its April 13th meeting. The budget includes just under $1.8 million in general fund appropriations and just over $1.2 million for water fund appropriation. Residents will see a tax increase from $8.09 per thousand of assessed valuation to $8.75 per thousand of assessed valuation. The budget includes annual salaries of $10,000 for Village Mayor Thomas Whalen and $5,000 for each trustee. The spending plan passed by a 4-to-1 vote, with Trustee William Ludwig casting the lone consenting vote. Additionally, 5% raises were approved for Crew Chief Jack Krajak, Clerk Treasurer Nicole Leopard, Deputy Clerk Hannah Doris, Water Clerk Karen Dabowski, and Court Clerk Karen Scheidel. All were approved by the board. Most were by a 4-to-1 vote, and Dabowski by a 3-to-1 vote, as her husband, John Dabowski, is a trustee and abstained from voting for his wife's raise. Ludwig cast the lone no vote. In another matter, Trustee Valerie Stamich said the new website is in works that will promote tourism for the village and the town of Evans. It will be coming out next month, Stamich said. The board will hold its next meeting at 5:30 p.m. Monday, May 11th at the Angola Village Hall. Hamburg Farmers Market set for 49th season. This year's market to feature promotional calendar, new vendors. This is by Chris Graham. A community staple of the spring, summer, and fall is almost ready for a return. The 49th season of the Hamburg Farmers Market will kick off on Saturday, May 2nd. The market, which is put on by the Southtowns Regional Chamber of Commerce, runs from 7:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Saturday from May 1st through October, from May to October, except for the 4th of July, at the Hamburg Moose Lodge property at 45 Church Street. Matthew Height, Executive Director of the Chamber, said 95% of the regular vendors will be returning to the market this year. We should have 50 to 75 vendors every week throughout the season, Height said. We're super excited to welcome back the returning vendors and some new folks too. Some vendors will be selling produce, flowers, baked goods, and other local produce items. There will also be food trucks present at the market. Around 5,000 to 6,000 people attend the market every Saturday. New to the market this year will be Sisters Gone Fizzy, a locally owned sister-run drink stand specializing in dirty sodas. They'll mix an individual flavored soda with coconut cream, fruit syrups, and more. Height also said there will be new bakers and a new pie company coming in as well. Also new this season, the market will have a promotional calendar Opening day will feature the first 1,000 attendees receiving a Hamburg Farmers Market magnet, sponsored by the market signs. Haidt said this is a way to get chamber members' business further involved in the market. While the promotional calendar was still being worked on, Haidt said there were potential plans for a Kids' Day, which would feature around 30 to 50 kid vendors, Adopt a Pet Day to bring in animal rescue vendors, and a Discover Hamburg Day, where a member business can come to the market and talk to customers about what they have to offer. How can we drive new attendees? Different attendance, Haidt said, reaching new people and new audiences that haven't come out to the farmers market yet. That's kind of why the promotional calendar is something new. Haidt also confirmed that plans are also shored up to bring back the midweek mini Hamburg Farmers Market, which ran from noon until 5 p.m. every Wednesday from July through August at the Hamburg Peace Park last year. The date and time may shift, but Haidt said the mini market will still incorporate the lunch hour at the Peace Park. He said the size will remain the same as last year, with the expectation the mini market would run from mid-July into September. Still finalizing all the plans for this year's Hamburg Farmers Market, Haidt is aware that next year's market hits a significant milestone, 50 years. He said a little bit of planning has started on that market, stressing something will be done to commemorate the 50th anniversary. As the Chamber prepares to open the market for the 49th season, Haidt said everyone should make their way to the Hamburg Moose Lodge property, whether they come every year or are trying out the market for the first time. It's a Southtown staple. It's a Hamburg staple, Haidt said. It's not only a farmer's market, it's a true community event for folks. If you haven't come out, you won't be disappointed. There's something for everybody. Concept Construction Corporation begins interior renovations at Union Pleasant Elementary School. Concept Construction Corporation has been selected as the general contractor to perform significant interior renovations at Union Pleasant Elementary School. The project, which started in March, will focus on multiple key spaces within the school. Much attention will be given to upgrading music classrooms, new science classrooms, and new bathrooms. The project centers on a variety of upgrades with a focus on arts and science. Much attention will be spent on restoring the two beautiful auditoriums with a focus on restoring the existing woodwork, said Vince Ricotta, Vice President of Business Development at Concept Construction Corporation. New comfortable seats, a new floor, modern ceiling, acoustic, and lighting are all part of the upgrades. These enhancements are part of a multi-phase effort to support student introduction to the science and arts. The project is expected to be completed in the fall of 2027. Frontier Middle School tech students accept challenge on the Birdhouse Project. While Mayor's 8th grade technology students at Frontier Middle School did a nice job with their first time ever innovative design on the Birdhouse Project. Campus manager Diane Christensen said the suggestion to do a project that deals with nature. Mayor admits his students weren't thrilled with the idea at first, but soon came around. The kids had their own design, Mayor said. They did a great job. Thanks, Diane, for the great idea. The students loved the project. Ten Lies Club announces 2026 Buffalo Bills Club Seat Season Ticket Raffle. Ten Lies Club Adoption Group is partnering with the Matthew Foster Foundation for its annual Buffalo Bills Club Seat Season Ticket Raffle. Be a part of the new stadium by getting in on this once-in-a-lifetime raffle. For $20, you will be entered to win 2 Buffalo Bills 2026 Club Seat Season tickets in Section C 231. These tickets include premium parking, VIP entry, and access to the Fantastic East Club, which is a covered and heated section. Tickets can also be purchased in bundles of 3 for $50 or 8 for $100. The drawing for this raffle will be held on Monday, August 3rd, during the Foundation's golf tournament at East Aurora Country Club. The Cat Rescue has also added a new promotion. With every season ticket purchase, participants will be entered into a monthly Buffalo Bills themed basket raffle. Every month, starting in April through August, the organization will add a new basket. At the end of each month, a winner will be selected and a new basket will be announced. Proceeds made will benefit cats in need in Western New York. Buy tickets at 10livesclub.com/store 2026. Buffalo Bills Season Ticket Raffle. You've been listening to Around Our Area, a weekly look at community newspapers from around Western New York. Your reader for this hour has been Sally Herzog. Thank you so much for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have the Ampol Eagle. At 4 o'clock, we have the Grand Island Niagara County Tribune Sentinel. And following that, at 5 o'clock, we have the Lockport Union Sun and Journal. Stay with us for these readings and more throughout the day. following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print